Peace to all within the sound of this broadcast. I want to build on this new Rakim album and a situation dealing with our flag that came across my desk. Now, many of us who have reached a certain degree of age are fans of the God Rakim. Without a doubt, he has provided the soundtrack for many of us and has piqued the interest of those who are interested in the 5% Nation. We eagerly anticipate any new music he drops or insight he shares in interviews. Some of us have questioned how much he knows in relation to this nation. Nonetheless, he remains one of the greatest MCs of all time. Recently, I came across what appears to be an album cover for a new Rakim project. The artwork features the universal flag, but it wasn't right and exact. Despite this, it has spread all over the internet and social media, promoting a project called the Rebirth. Now, this incorrect image of the universal flag raises several questions. Is Rakim really behind this project? Does he know that this flag is incorrect? And if so, how or why did he allow this incorrect image of our universal flag to reach the public? I started receiving calls from all across the country about this image. Guards were upset with this poor representation of our flag. Although I am an avid fan of Rakim's music, I don't have a personal relationship with him. However, I recall that the God-born King Mathematics in CLR Nation, Canada, has some connections with him, having interviewed Rakim a few times over the years. Before I had a chance to build the God-born King, he contacted me first. He informed me that he was in touch with Rakim's manager to correct these errors. Rakim's manager told Born King that he had warned those who involved not to tamper with the flag, which indicated that Rakim wasn't in charge of this project. Yet it still left the question, why would the guard allow that image to be released to the public? Born King went back and forth with Rakim's manager and learned that a man named M80 is the executive producer of this project. While I was on the phone with Born King, the guard's son Born, also known as King's son, sent me a text message asking me to call him when I got a chance. Son Born, also known as King's son, had a few rap albums back in the 90s and is well known in the music industry. I told Born King to do what he had to do to make things right while I saw what the guard's son Born was hitting my line about. When I contacted the guard's son Born, he asked me if I had seen Rakim's new album cover with the incorrect image of the flag on it. I informed him I was just building with Born King about this, and that he was in contact with Rakim's manager to work it all out. And aside from just the flag being incorrect, the godson Born pointed out some other hidden ingredients that were in this image that has nothing to do with our universal flag, like it being presented within a European crest. And in the crown that's on the top, there was a crucifix. The guard and I went through the sciences of all the inconsistencies of this image and how it didn't represent our universal flag. Nor was it a good representation of Rakim, especially if he's still a part of this nation. I assured son Born that I would put him in contact with Born King and keep him updated. Before they could connect, Born King and son Born somehow got in contact with M80, the executive producer of this Rakim album, to ask him whose idea it was to put this incorrect image of our flag out to the public and request that he either remove the flag or make the necessary corrections to properly represent the universal flag. This culminated in a back and forth between Born King, son Born, and M80, which produced this new image to represent the project. Soon after, we got on a Zoom call to build with M80 from the premise proper education always corrects errors, and to see why and how this incorrect image of our flag was used and why the 5% does not appreciate this.
I just want to introduce myself. I'm Born King, Mathematics Allah. This is my brother, Allah Infinite, also known as If Mega. We do, the Law School in Mecca YouTube channel, and we cover everything dealing with the nation. And our brother Rakim Allah is also our dear member within the nation. So we just kind of wanted to interview you and get a better understanding about your relationship with Rakim and
Sure.
how this project even came about.
Born King made the introduction, and I followed with the first question, asking him what he knows about the 5% culture. And he responded that he knows a lot about our culture. Obviously, you heard about the 5%. Like
Yes, sir. I'm very well versed in your culture.
Now, to anyone watching this broadcast, I would like to make knowledge born that you can learn about the 5% by letting the 5% teach you. There are many books, and the lessons are online. Yet, this is not the proper way to get educated about the 5%. Okay, so can you tell me, what you know about it, and what it means to you?
Yeah. So when I was doing my initial readings, I started working with Wu-Tang Clan in 2003, 2004. I started reading a lot of 5% books and realized that, I wasn't alone in my pursuit for knowledge. When one seeks knowledge of self, it's, again, exactly what it says. It's to better you. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. This is a knowledge that you encompass. And I like the fact in the teachings that it wasn't just specific to, while the teachings are based on the Asiatic black man and the original man, that you have someone like an Azrael that says, hey, I subscribe to this way of thinking. I subscribe to these ideals, these cultures. And so when people approach me like, well, you're Jewish and you're this and this and you're Yaqub, I tell people I'm more Azrael than Yaqub all the time. Look at my track record. Look at the company I keep. Like, I'm one of those, I'm not an 85er, I'm not a 10. If I don't know the answer to something, and Born Allah can attest to this just in the past few days. If I don't got the answers, I'm gonna go figure it out. And that's doing the knowledge. That's being cognizant of your surroundings, yourself, and the greater good. And because I'm a Jewish man, I'm not part of the nation, but I've met with Farrakhan. I've ridden to Savior's Day on the bus with Farrakhan's family. I'm respected in that circle because I don't just subscribe to the thoughts of my people because I'm one of them. I have my own brain. I have my own activities. I have my own ability to gather knowledge. And that's what, really is attractive of the 5% Nation. It is a nice, organized unit with a belief system that any person can really trace back historically and realize is not just as something made up. It is a real, factual, basis for an ideology. There's more black Jews that exist in Africa and Ethiopia and these places than anywhere else in the world. So if you want to look at the 5% Nation and discuss, the Asiatic black man being the original man, well, if dating back to even the Bible, which, the Bible and the Quran are two totally separate things, but if you're talking about the first people on earth being Jews, it's all in the same vein. Like, there's a lot of these religions and cultures have more in common than they do in difference to each other, and that's the beautiful thing about it.
So I mean, was there any specific person that you walk with that taught you? I mean, I know you said like Wu-Tang and whatnot, but was it somebody that gave you like a personal walk through this?
No, because I viewed it as I was never comfortable asking unless I was willing to dedicate my life to it. So all my teachings and everything I've learned about 5% culture, Nation of Gods and Earths, Islam, came from my own want to know with no guidance.
Okay, so like you would have gotten through the music or through online sources.
I own a lot of 5% books.
Can you name them?
If I was at my house, sitting in my office, I could just pull them all out, but no, I can't off the top of my head.
Of all the books that are available, very few are right and exact. It is always best to come amongst the 5% if you would like to know about the 5%.
Well, just the fact that you know about Azrael I'll definitely give you credit for that, because a lot of people don't even know about Azriel being one of the first Caucasians within this nation that was taught by, the Father Allah.
You know what? I want to go back. Sorry to cut you off. If anyone
Yeah.
tried to actually provide me teachings and insight, it was Planet Asia.
Okay. I was gonna say that. That's one of our brothers. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, powerful Jabbar. That's definitely one of our brothers. And when I noticed that you and you got Master Killer and these brothers in the cipher, that's why I was concerned when I was like, okay, well, how come the flag was incorrect, or how did that slip under the radar with these credible brothers that we know personally that's there? Like, how come it wasn't checked? And luckily, we was able to catch it online real quick before, it blew up and got a little
and just
bigger.
So you know, our, like, on those original promo posters and shirts that we just used for the video, that was just for that specific task. But I'm glad you caught it, because otherwise that variant edition of the CD would have gone to press how we designed it versus how we should have designed it.
The original artwork had the universal flag within a European crest, reminiscent of Jay-Z and Kanye West's Watch the Throne album. And in doing my research, I found that M80 used to be a rapper, has done some A&R work, and went on to become an executive. What is your role in this project with Rakim, this Rakim project? What is your...
I am the executive producer. The co-executive producers are Rakim and his manager Matt Kemp, and I am one of 3 A&Rs alongside Rakim and Hus Kingpin.
And I want to say I congratulate you for working with Rakim and making the project brought into existence, man. It was good to see some of my brothers on the album, particularly Planet Asia, and Tri-State. I was like, wow,
Yep.
These brothers got to definitely get on there, and I know that they're big fans of Rakim as well. So that was really dope to see them on there. What was the format in even bringing it about? Was it Rakim that was like, yo, these are the people I want on there, or did you kind of scout out the talent?
This is a very long answer.
This is where Son Born, also known as King's Son, enters the Zoom call.
Okay.
The idea of this project has changed focus several times. We did a deal with Fat Beats during COVID, March 2020, I believe. And, everyone was kind of worried about where their next check was going to come from. We did a deal with Fat Beats. With that money, we used it to build on to the studio that was already on Rakim's estate. That project was supposed to be 3 or 4 songs with 3 remixes. The remixes were going to feature new producers and features. The original songs were going to be produced by like Premier, Pete Rock, Knife Wonder. Now, Rakim isn't, your typical, hey, email me some stuff, let's email back and forth. Rakim, if you're going to work with the God, you go to his house for a week, and you might work for one day, but you're there for a week because he's feeling everything out. The circumstance has to be right. The vibe has to be right. The mentality has to be right. He's a very right and precise guy. We did, for scheduling reasons, like it didn't work out with Premier, didn't work out with Pete, didn't work out with everyone else we were considering. Fat Beats got to the point where it's like they wanted to sell the company, and the company now is sold. They sold it to Rostrum Records, and we gave them their money back. During the 4-year period, Rakim and Jazzy Jeff, really strengthened their relationship, and we started working on a full-length album. Rakim, produced by Jazzy Jeff. Now, when I came up with the idea, I didn't want to let the Fat Beats thing die when we gave them the money back. I wanted to pick it up, and there was times where I'd offered Rakim 6 figures, but he's not. Again, so someone that makes money can't be swayed by money. So I appealed to some of Rakim's other sensibilities with my love for cars, and I bought this James Bond edition Aston Martin. It's the British green with the tan interior, the peanut butter guts, and he's like, I want that. I was like, I bought it for me. I drove it for 2 months. I shipped it to him. And then, we worked out the details, for the difference in cash, the difference for publishing, for me, I'm an A&R, so I don't keep any artist publishing and stuff. So really making it work to Rakim's satisfaction. But the idea for the project was always to highlight Rakim as the producer, because whether you're a diehard Rakim fan or just a casual Rakim fan, a lot of people never knew that he also is nice on the beats and also DJs.
Many don't know that Rakim produced most of his songs in his early career and did most of the scratching on his records. I was impressed when I learned that he produced Know the Ledge for the movie Juice soundtrack. And he also played live drums on that track, in which the Bomb Squad helped him put it all together.
It just, put me that much deeper into it.
Dude, Rakim produced Juice, Know the Ledge.
Right.
My favorite Rakim song of all time. If you look at Rakim's producer credits, you'll be like, damn, I thought that was Eric B. I thought that was Eric B. And that's no slight to Eric. The whole dynamic of Rakim and Eric B was to highlight Rakim as the MC and Eric as the producer.
Hey, yo, peace.
Son.
Peace.
Yeah, man. So back to the answer. So I wanted to highlight Rakim as the producer. Now, I always knew I was going to have like a 1 or 2 Rakim verses as a part of the project. I would fill in the features. So what I did was, when I first got the folder, I called Huss, I called Chino XL, I called Tri-State, I called Master Killer and Corrupt. We picked that in person. Master Killer was the first one to hear the beats and pick the BL track. I let each one of these artists pick the beat, and then I built the whole song around it. As I would complete a couple verses on a song, I'd send to Ra, and Ra would be like, I want to put a hook on this. I want to put a verse on this. I want to talk on this. I want to whatever. And then that's how that came. And Ra wasn't literally, for every song, he did his vocals at least 2 or 3 times. So people at home, they're like, well, it's more like a compilation. You should call it whatever you want. Rakim is highlighting himself as the producer. We already know he's nice with the rhyme, so I mean, I didn't have to reinvent the wheel there. But he's never been feature heavy in any of his works. Seven Seal probably had more features on it as a major label album. I believe that was with BMG, than any of the past Rakim solos or any of the past Eric B and Rakim works. This is something different. Still Rakim all the way through, but how this project came about, to take you even further back, I executive produced a Ghostface album in 2018 called The Lost Tapes. Worst name in the history, but that's what Ghost wanted to call it. And typically when you hear the Lost Tapes, you think of old material resurrected. This was a brand new studio album. I was there when Ghostface recorded every song brand new. He wanted to call it The Lost Tapes to resurrect the golden era sound, the Supreme Clientele sound, the Cuban Link sound. So I had to explain this in 100 interviews, because again, when you think Lost Tapes, you think Nas, you think Tupac, you think what exactly is. It's old material recovered. So Raw liked the fact, and I learned this by working with Huss and Benny the Butcher and Griselda and 38 Special. You don't have to live in the modern society where you have to ship 50,000, 100,000 records to call yourself a success. If you say, I'm going to do a short run of physicals, we did, I think, 7,000 vinyls on Ghostface. We did 3,000 CDs, a few hundred cassette tapes, and they all sold out. So if you go and try to find a copy now, you might spend $150 on a vinyl, or $80 on a CD, or $50 on a cassette tape. That's the point. The limited, the collectors, the collectability of it. Ra liked that as much. He liked that idea as much as he liked the music. Had it not been for me doing that Ghostface album, I don't think I would have ever gotten the time of day from Rakim to even discuss me serving as an A&R or an administrator or an executive on a Rakim album. Now, I've known Rakim since 2007. I met Rakim in Vegas. I was there with Rage Against the Machine for the Vegas Festival. Lupe Fiasco was a part of it, Mugwai, a bunch of bands, rappers, things of that nature. Ghostface is a part of that as well. And so we've known each other for 17 years. And ever up until this point in time, I'm the guy that calls a couple times a year when I have a show referral, when I have a verse referral, that kind of stuff. So this was, Rakim allowing me to live my dream through him, even after the fact that the Fat Beats deal, we deaded it. And I'm so happy that we did, because, this is something like I didn't sign a label deal for this. Me and Ra are running this program.
That's
So it's like it's 4 years. You said 4 years in the making.
4 years in the making, because of from going to the Fat Beats deal to deading the deal to not knowing if we were going to do a project to watching it, the focus shift to the whole album with Jeff to this. Now, when we did the contracts, me and him, then I went to work immediately. Every day I was hitting I was going to Vegas, and I went to Hawaii, and like every place to get these artists. So we finished it in 4 months, but 4 months after 4 years of, trying to figure out what we're doing.
There has been much talk in our community about culture vultures. It didn't help when M80 went on an interview saying that he accomplished more than Dr. Dre by completing an album with Rakim.
I'm doing what Dr. Dre couldn't get done. What are you going to say to me? Oh, this isn't real? This isn't quality? This isn't Rakim's best work? Motherfucker, you're welcome.
People took it as a slight when Sam Buck posted that little snippet of me talking about I feel more accomplished because I accomplished what Dre couldn't. When I watched those interviews with Rakim, that's no slight to Dre. Corrupt's coming in town. Literally, he just got here at 2:00, going straight to Dre's house. We're working. I'm part of that family. Like I made half a million.
Let me just add on to this, because I kind of wanted to ask you that, because people in the comments, because I was reading that, was calling you, a colonizer and this, that, and the third, because you I don't know. What is your response to that, where people may think, okay, you're a white Jewish kid, you coming here, you're dealing with Rakim, and you was kind of like beating on your chest saying, Dr. Dre couldn't do it, I'm the one that did it, kind of thing. And even just the whole concept with, certain people that talk about white people being a guest in hip hop, and they definitely can add on to it, but they cannot rearrange the structure of it. And what is your views on that in regards to
I'm gonna try to answer that for you point by point. So I'm a firm believer in, yes, if you're a guest in hip hop, or even if you're if you're welcome, you have to build on to hip hop culture, and you have to be able to cite examples of how you built on. You ask your average MC, rapper, producer, whoever, label executive, what you've done to build on the culture, and they're going to brush you off. I have a specific answer. I have 150 answers to this, but here's number one. I broke the Guinness World Freestyle Record in 2009. To date, I'm the only person to ever do it for charity. I rapped for 9 hours and 15 minutes to raise enough money to fund my own school in Nigeria. That is using hip hop to build onto the culture. 2,000 students a year, ages 7 to 18, get education because I could rap for a long period of time.
Wow, that's peace.
There's that. Now, as far as being a colonizer and a guest, my entire history, from M80 the artist to M80 the A&R to the executive, is laced with 100% realness. Rakim, Wu-Tang Clan, Redman, Dog Pound, Snoop, DMX, E40, Tech 9. The list goes on and on and on. So any person that ever has an issue with me, it's usually an issue that's specific to that person, because the common answer is, look at all the real ones he's with. If M80, no one would mess with me if I was just some guy that was good at making you money. I have to bring something to the table. We have to see eye to eye. We have to mesh well together. I have to expand upon and better what's important to you, your character, your ideals. At the same time, make it beneficial for me. Remember, I have a law degree. I, depending on the day of the week, the month, the year, clearly I could make more money being an attorney, billing people $500 an hour. My attorney sometimes bills $7.
Yo, peace. Hey, matey, not to cut you off, this to God, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And thank y'all for welcoming me to the cipher. The question that I have in the statement that you're making, no disrespect, but to all the names that you dropping, were you beneficial in blowing them up, or they was blown up and then you got with them and furthered on with them? That's my question. Did you blow them up, or did you, once they was on, in other words, was they already popping when you dealt with them, or did you have anything to do with them blowing up?
Okay, so to the names I just named, the answer is no. These people, I did not blow these people up. I can name artists that I can name 100 artists that you've never heard of that I got record deals for that have lived out their rap dreams. Now, why all these artists came to me after they were already somebody, whether they're on the rise or the decline, was because in 2005, my first ever job as an A&R was Wu-Tang Meets the Indie Culture. It was the second highest selling album across all genres of music. I'll repeat that. All genres of music, not just rap. Okay? People want to know who did that. Now, everyone thought it was Dreddy Kruger at first because I was the admin. But then look what I went on to do. 200 more albums that have all killed it. I have a Grammy nomination with DMX. I have 46 Billboard top raps with all those names and then some. I have 24 gold and platinums with these people that I did, that I worked on, okay? I didn't like coattail ride. Like, I helped make certain gold and platinum records. So those names I gave you were popping.
You know, me and you built on the phone. So you know, me and you got the rapport to be able to talk. But I'm just trying to clarify.
I have the thickest skin in the world. That's the only way I'm as successful as I am. I can only let shit bother me if I let it bother me. I know who I am. My knowledge of self is real. My knowledge of the game is real. My knowledge of the surroundings, the world around me is real. So therefore, how am I going to let some person I've never met on the internet ruin my day? How am I going to let some guy commenting from Germany or United Kingdom or Slovenia, oh, this isn't a real Rakim record, this is some BS? Bro, I don't care. This was my dream in life. Literally, I did an interview with the Grammys today. I don't know what I'm going to do in my life after this because this was the ultimate dream for me. I will sit there and come up with new dreams, but every project you see me work for the next couple of years is just going to be that. It's just going to be work. This was the dream. And I know that Rakim sees how much I bring to the table now. And I talked with Nick Wiz today and Kemp and Rakim. Well, I guarantee you'll see me a part of everything that Rakim does from here on out. Sometimes it takes a me to make the juices flow again. Rap is exhausting. The culture is exhausting. The people are exhausting. We are not part of a culture that wants you to succeed, strive, win, has your back. I can name so many examples. Bro, there's no 401k for what you do. There's no pension plan. So when one of my artists says, yo, man, I need a stem cell replacement, I need a heart surgery, I pay for that because I want you to live. I'll never make that kind of money back. You know how much a new heart costs? Trust me. I'm just proud of me, man. Back to the Dre thing. That's what came across wrong because people only saw that 15 seconds. They didn't watch the whole hour and a half interview. I'm proud of me. I didn't mean to belittle Dre or make it seem like that. I just studied what Dre did with Rakim and did the exact opposite. That's why I got my project. I didn't tell Rakim what to rap about.
Yo, check me out, man. I got a question. Because I'm over here, I got a little committee of the gods, and I told you we already done built on this. My question to you is, what you doing right now and this new Rakim album and, the Rebirth and everything, how will this add on to the Rakim legacy? How does this add on to the legacy of Rakim?
You don't know the answer to that question? You really asking me?
I'm asking it from your point of view, bro. Come on, we just being men, we building. It's not nothing. We're not here to catch you up there.
The first ever fully produced Rakim project.
Right.
Remember, people want to just pigeonhole, yo, that's the God MC. I don't want to hear him make beats. I don't want to hear him cut. That's rap culture, trying to limit what you can and can't do in this lifetime. Remember, son, when you were coming up, where if you worked a job and rapped, you were a clown. You were a clown. You're nothing. You're poor. You're a pauper. Now,
no.
Wait. Hold on. We can't. I'm not going to do this. We're going to keep cutting into my answers. All right.
Right.
Now, hip hop is about entrepreneurial spirit. You're supposed to rhyme, work, have a clothing company, have beverage. Like, you're supposed to expand your horizons. That's the beauty of the time here and now. So anyone that's trying to shit on Rakim for wanting to be, yo, I want the world to see that I make ill fucking beats. And of course I'm a rhyme. Like, of course I'm a rhyme. Like, that's what this project is. You don't have to be one thing.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
agree.
this means. And I can tell you this.
That wasn't the direction. I'm saying to you, how do you see this as a Rakim legacy? You know, we got Pete
Rakim just opened up the floodgates. We just opened up the floodgates for artists to be artists. Be anything and everything you want to be. Imagine if someone just told me I could only be M.A. the rapper. We would not have 40 more Wu-Tang albums. We would not have 3 or 4 Crooked Eye albums and Eminem records and DMX records. And like, that's what this is. Yo, be everything you want to be. That's the whole moral of Be Ill. Be yourself. Be amazing. Be everything. That's what Rakim is teaching you now. And it's going to go over some people's heads, but not smart, intelligent folk like myself. And not y'all.
I wanna ask, because you know what really sparked this whole, you know, this call here is the album cover, right? So there was some things.
Remember, that's just a variant cover. So there's 500 of those. The real cover is the one with Rakim on the front.
Okay, so now, and I just wanted to know, because you know the one that went out to press, you know, had some things that weren't, you know, right and exact according to our culture. So, you know, I wanted to know, like, were there any consultants? Did anybody consult you on that particular artwork?
Like, why did I make the changes?
No, not before we get to the changes. I want to know, like you actually making the actual cover, like making it what it was.
I didn't make it.
Right. So, but
I'm not a graphic guy. That was made by a graphic guy named Thomas Smith.
Okay, so whose idea was it to put the flag on there? He decided to put the flag on it? It was his idea?
That was my idea.
Okay, so I think that's where we're starting at. Like, whose idea was it to put the flag? What information did they have in order to put the flag on it? And how comes the flag was, like, basically all jacked up, you know?
Well, Thomas is responsible for the color scheme he did, because he did not have an understanding that the colors are symbolic and significant and can't be altered. So that was that. But the rationale for me to put the 7 on there was because everything about this project is based around 7. Rakim, the God MC, 7. 7 tracks, Rebirth, 7 letters, 7 unique drops between the NFTs, the merch, the God Pack, the vinyls, the CDs, the cassettes, the digi, everything 7. So that was that. So when you brought this to my attention, Born, and I'm very appreciative of it, and you know that at no point in time did I dismiss you, talk back to you, write you off. I did none of these things. Like, it's not my place to
be quite honest, you said that you was going to change the flag, which was peace, but then when I asked you about the 7 on the crown, changing it to a 7 because it was a crucifix, then that's when you're like, I'm a little bit busy. I can't really go back and forth like this. And it was
Dude,
like,
this is my sixth interview today.
Yeah.
This is my sixth interview today. It's 2:30 p.m.
Hold
here.
on, bro. Hold on. So, Emady, I dig it. Look, we understand you took the time to build with the gods, and this is whatever interviews you had that took place, that was important, and we understand that, and we respect that.
Wait. Also, hold on, because I talked to Son, Born. I was in the Midwest on family vacation as well. Like when you were writing me, on top of the fact that I was doing Snoop Dogg work and like trying to be a family.
No.
That's why I was asking you. That's why I was asking you.
We appreciate you for knowledging us, brothers. We're not saying that we wasn't.
My point was I was not dismissive of you, like how you might see me act in the comments of some of these people, because I know your approach was from a stance of education. You're not trying to say, yo, Emady, like you're a piece of shit for doing this. You're trying to say, if you're going to do this, do it like this. And I took it as that. So I made sure to follow up. Like I said, I'm not someone that's going to act like I know it all. If I don't know the answer to something, I'm going to go seek the truth, find it, and implement.
Yo, Emady, this is what I'm saying. See, this is what I told the gods. I told them, you and I built. So when me and you built, me, you, and Matt, and we built, you know, I was cordial to you, you was cordial to me, and it wasn't nothing. But the only thing I can comment on is the fact of, that's my flag. I got to show and prove for that flag. I wear that flag every day. It's not something Dapper Dan did. This ain't a fashion statement. I wear this like a 6-point star with my Jewish brothers. You feel me? This is my culture. Not a religion, it's my culture. Take hip-hop and all that out. The science says like this. How did it have to be? How was that represented and not Rakim had no knowledge of it, God? Was there any Rakim or any 5% Nation brothers, Rakim, Gods and Earths, or anybody that saw the flag as y'all had it, as your, put it like this, in the design
I know what you're saying. The answer is no.
Was there any 5% Nation, Rakim, outside the Jewish community, outside executive producers, managers, and everybody around his whole circumference?
No, the answer is no.
Was there anybody 5% around that built with the God or Rakim knowledge did to say, yo, this is right and exact. I can do this. I can't do that.
No, the answer is no.
Okay,
no.
So there you go. Say no more.
That's what happened.
All right, God, now go on. That's God body.
We didn't make it an issue until Born hit me, and then a couple days later, Son, me and you spoke, and you'll have the same story from me as Born. I was very open-minded and all ears as to what to do to make it right, whether it's removing it in full or adjusting it, and we did. You know, I took the necessary steps. But when you're asking, did anyone approve that leading up to that? The answer is no. This is what I'm doing based off of what I think the album is to me.
Okay, so this is what the album, what it is, and the projection of the album and the reflection of the album, what it is to you. Again, no disrespect, my Jewish brother.
No, take it, man.
But as far as Rakim being God body, so then why didn't you put a Jewish flag on there? Why didn't you put an Israeli flag on there?
Because Rakim is not Jewish.
It's going to be a representation of you.
Okay, Rakim's not Jewish, and the Jewish flag wouldn't. No, but the Jewish flag or star would not fall in line with the theme of 7. That's the answer.
Because the Jewish flag could not. The Jewish flag could not.
Well, because the Star of David is 6. Yeah, it is not the same. It's not the same. It doesn't fit the theme of the record. Everything is 7. I understand what 7 means to your culture.
Okay, but see, no,
the last song on the record is called "Sign of 7."
But my point, M80, is to show and prove. And again, no disrespect to you. You my man. You my brother. You feel me? And you know, me and you built real off of this. This the same conversation, and I'm in the same tone that I was. It was just you and I. Now the science says, I told you, it's like, is this just a business thing for Rakim? Because if it's a business thing, then take the flag off. Take the flag off and keep it business. You feel me? Don't throw out.
I asked you if you wanted the flag removed, but no, this is not just business. This is about me living my dream and re-energizing the career of Rakim.
It's
no, this is not. This is not a business decision.
Listen, King Son, it's already done. The album's already done with the flag. We already corrected it, so we already handled all of that, right? So we don't have to go back and rehash all of that. But yeah, but understand that I think what the guards are trying to say, and I think you kind of understand it, that this flag means a lot to us, and we want to make sure that the guards is represented right and exact, and we want to make sure Rakim is represented right. And I think that's what it was done. You making the revisions, you doing what you did in time to before it went to production and everything like that. I think that was peace.
The theme of this conversation is the proper education always corrects errors, right? So there were some errors that were made on that, right? So and I know what King Son is saying, because King Son is saying basically this is your dream. So if it's your dream, right, and this is a reflection of who you are, then why not use the Israeli flag? Why not use, the 6-point star?
And my answer remains because it doesn't meet the theme of the record.
Right.
So for instance, I'll give you an example of something that's reflective of me inside the album. One of my 3 mentors passed away. He was the first person I told when we'd signed the deal with Fat Beats in 2020, and was there for me every step of the way of my career, from artist to A&R to executive. There's a dedication to him in the booklet of the CDs and vinyl. That is a reflection of me. Rakim knew who he was, but that's something that Ra allowed me to do for me and for his family. He didn't have to let me do that. Everything else, though, this is Rakim. That's the one thing I got. I got to show love to my man.
I think the other side of what the guard's asking is like, what was Rakim like? How was, because if the flag wasn't right and exact, then what was
Rakim's input on the 5% Nation side of it? What was Rakim's input on the God Body side on the 5% Nation? No music, no rapping, on the culture that this is Rakim's culture. This is what he lived. Because it's all simple, man. And I think I already answered this. We built
Rakim's input on that didn't happen until after I made the change.
Oh, see, after the change. So
yeah.
So he didn't even see it. Okay,
no, so Kemp, remember, Son can attest to this. Son talked to Kemp. Kemp got me on the phone. I made the change. We submitted the change to Ra. Oh, that's beautiful. That was it.
Oh, okay. Also, when
and remember, it wasn't just
made, he didn't see it. He didn't see
no,
it
because that was never intended to be the cover. The cover is the picture of Rakim. This is something special we did. Like I don't know how many we sold, but it's like there's only 500 of these. There's going to be 10,000 of the version of Rakim on the front.
Right, it says limited edition, so that's not really.
Yeah. So all Ra wanted to do, Ra only approved the art with him. It was Matt that brought this to my attention via Son and you to me, Born, that this was not right and exact. Hence, what can we do to make it right?
Okay.
And that was done. Hence, we corrected the errors.
And that's what this was all about. It's really like I said, proper education always correct errors. So we just want to make sure that, because the question is like, okay, if Rakim's the God, then if he saw that, why wouldn't he correct it? Why did we have to correct it? So now you're making it clear that he didn't see it.
He didn't even see it.
Right.
That's peace. That's peace.
Because and the reason behind that is, like I said, Ra redid his vocals on every track 2 to 3 times. By the time we had Ra, we got 12 days to turn this in. We're already like late 2 weeks. We didn't get to art approval until the day before turn-in, and the only art I sent him was examples of him on the cover. It was honest to God, like hand to God, he never saw the cover, the variant cover, because we never knew we were going to use it.
Okay, now
I
hold
didn't
up,
come
hold
up.
up.
I didn't come up with that until we built the website, which was we built the website on 6/20, June 20th, and went live June 21st. We had to turn the album in with all the deliverables, the art, the masters, the whole nine on June 12th.
All right, M80, hold up. M80 to the gods. I want to introduce this is, when we say physical, this is my cousin, Knowledge Born. He came up with me as far as we had knowledge. You know, he's also an MC. When I told you I met Rakim back in Patterson, he was on the show with Rakim and his crew. He just won a bill and just won a little add-on. So let him, this the God Knowledge Born. Go ahead, God Bill.
Right. I've been observing the conversation. When my physical called me and said, listen, I'm having this meeting. He said, what is your take on this? So he showed me the album cover, right? I automatically said, Rakim has nothing to do with this. And if he does, now I'm going to question his knowledge in the game, right? So that was my immediate reaction. My advice, I don't have a question for you. My advice is, if Rakim is busy and you're busy, why don't you take one of these brothers that's here that has knowledge itself to be a gatekeeper so those type of mistakes don't happen in the future?
I did that.
Because
and that man is in the top left screen. I literally did exactly what you suggested.
That happened later on, but this is why, you know.
But remember, this is in real time.
Right, I got you on that. But here's the thing. So now if you have that counsel, the other thing is the first impression. I'm just being honest with you, so you know how to move from this point. The first impression I got was, you know what this sounds like? And you tell them if I've said this right and exact. I said it's looking like, not sounds like. I said it's looking like he just grabbed the bag and he don't give a fuck what this is about. So
Trust
no,
me.
hold on.
Not you.
I gotta interject. I have to interject.
Hold up.
It's the furthest
thing
from that.
Rakim.
Stop.
Hold up.
I know. I'm telling you, for Rakim, the answer is no.
No,
like
take your
the
time.
amount of money we're talking about here, Rakim could make in 2 days. This was about me being so persistent for 4 years.
I'm not saying that that's actual fact. I'm saying that was the first impression that I received. I haven't heard the material yet. I'm not accusing anybody of anything.
You didn't even hear the single?
Is when
it's awesome.
I haven't heard anything. but when he said from the legacy, I'm expecting this to be on some Killer Mike level because of who he is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying to you, I'm not criticizing anything. It's just as an advisor, it's just, to me, it'd be more beneficial if you do have somebody on your staff, not just as a pop in and out or catch things here and there, just to run things through, because you're a very busy man, and I'm quite sure Rakim is busy too.
I learned yesterday when we had a conference call that Ra is very comfortable with Jamel Arif, with Elgin Turner, with Master Killer. That made me feel good because I've worked with Killer since 09, 08. So knowing that I treat him as a brother and Ra treats him as a brother, that made me feel good knowing that I should have gone to someone like him from the onset. But again, we were moving at the speed of light. I spent almost 4 years of stagnant back and forth, a lot of moving backwards, to when we finally got the green light from Ra, man, I couldn't look back for a second. And that, so yeah, you're right. If I'm busy, if he's busy, if we're all so busy, then we should have other people to take some of the load off. And especially people coming from a point of authority.
That's what the guards meant. Because if it took 4 years, it doesn't take but a day or two to actually make sure all the fine details and the hidden ingredients are right in that.
You are 100% spot on.
Now, unfortunately, Rakim was not available for this discussion.
There's one more thing that I want to address, M80. And I kind of said it to you before, but just to kind of like make it known in regards to a universal flag. I know Okay, first let me ask you that. Do you agree with the 5% teachings? Would you consider yourself a 5%er?
The God's son born didn't like when Born King asked M80 if he considers himself a 5%er.
I want to answer. I want to answer.
No, no,
I do not.
no, you're not
don't
answering that question. You're not answering that question. Hey, M80, hold up.
But I actually have an answer.
Yeah. Well, let him build. Let him build.
I believe. Listen, here's how I'm going to answer this. Hold on. As a Jewish.
Answer, M80. Go. Now, because early on you didn't hear the bill that he sees himself closer to Azriel, who was a Caucasian 5%er. So that's why I was asking.
Then the Yakub.
The phone on there.
But for the record, son born for the record.
Let me fall back.
Yeah.
Go ahead and answer that question.
Hold on. For the record, because we just trying to. At the end of the day, we trying to bridge the communities, like trying to figure out. There's certain things that weren't right and exact, and there's certain things that just need to be corrected. So we're just trying to get correct and have it on record. What is the man? What is your mindset? How do you see things?
Okay.
Right. We just want to know how he feels about our nation. And does he mentioned Azriel, which was a Caucasian 5%er. So I want to know more in depth how he feels about our nation in regards to these things.
I'm a Jewish man. I believe in the teachings of the 5% nation and nation of gods and earths. I am intelligent enough to be able to sit down with Minister Farrakhan, attend a Savior's Day, be with his family, and understand this is not a man who hates the Jewish people, as a lot of Jewish people believe when they hear Farrakhan speak, because they're not looking deeper into what he's saying. Farrakhan at Savior's Days that I've attended says, I wish we could unify like the Jewish people. I wish we could build our own crops. I wish we could own our own land. I wish we could build up our own communities. So I do not consider myself a 5%er. I do not consider myself a 10%er. I do not consider myself an 85er. I consider myself a man of the world. But I believe in the 5% teachings and theologies. And I believe that if I was not a Jewish man, and say I was not a white man, if I was anything other than what I was born into, I would identify and try to be a member of the nation.
Okay. Now, and I just wanted
to
when you mentioned what you said, because you mentioned Farrakhan, and I just want to be clear, like Farrakhan, what Farrakhan deals with is not the same thing as what we deal with. There may be some similarities, but there's But
I was addressing that from the standpoint of a Jewish man.
Okay.
Right.
So
he has the whole thing with the.
So remember, the average non-Islamic person, no matter how you break it down, Islam, FOI, NOI, whatever, they don't see any distinction because they don't do the knowledge. Okay? Same way they don't understand that Farrakhan doesn't hate the Jews, even if he said out of his mouth one day, I hate the Jews. I wouldn't believe him. I'm like, I know you too well. You want your people to unify like my people. And that's a beautiful thing. You speak on it. You do everything in your power to teach this unification. But the unification is bigger than you. It takes a nation to make unification. All right?
So now my question is to you, almighty M80, stop digging your nose, man, while I'm speaking to you, brother. I'm going to find you, M80, and I'm going to snatch that.
I'm a man with allergies. But okay, continue. Sorry.
Hey, now, M80, look.
And it doesn't help that I smoke.
In all the Rakim albums he's ever put out, he has never had an explicit lyric stamp on his records. Why in the lower left is there an explicit lyric, explicit advisory on the album?
Two reasons. One, the majority of curse words that are found on the project came from guests. Two, Rakim says shit on the song God's Playground with 38 Special, Fred the Godson, Skyzoo, and DMX.
Okay, so you understand that question. You see how I'm coming at you, right? Rakim is not known as
so the number one answer is not because of Rakim. Nipsey Hussle in his verse has a few profanities. But
I'm sure
Rakim
Snoop,
did.
DMX, most of them.
No, actually, so this is what people don't understand. They see all the names and they assume I got all those people just barring out all over the album. I use Snoop as an instrument. Like Rakim did a speaking part recently for Snoop. Now, Rakim, this is so funny with everyone calling me out on the Dr. Dre stuff. Rakim is going to come back to LA in a few weeks and do some vocals for Dre. All right? That's how that happens. I'm the battery, man. So I use Snoop on the Raw record to drop 2 bars. That's all I needed. I don't need you to bar out, bro. I made the song that Dog is on with Nipsey and Planet Asia and Ra and a choir and a violin quartet is literally one of the most beautiful pieces of music I've ever been a part of.
Hold up. Thank you. Look, now you got me. Now when I go to LA, I'm choking my brother out because I think I asked you on the phone. Asia, did Asia see that cover and let it go?
No, remember, no one saw this cover. It was never supposed to be the cover. They only saw the version with Rakim. If you look at Planet Asia's, listen, to prove, look at Planet Asia or any of these associated artists' Instagrams or Facebooks. You will not see that cover. You'll only see the one with Rakim on it. That was something I decided to put out as an extra. Because the retail CDs are retail price, like 15, 20 bucks. This was gold inlay, the gold CD with writing on the bottom. It's super rare. I've only done it one other time out of the 200 some albums I've worked on. It's a very expensive CD. Like the Horseman, we did the embossed cover. Those were like $8 a unit. You can buy a CD, buck and change. Like I really wanted to give people this real artsy, nice,
Okay, now maybe hold on. Let me light your fuse, and I'm coming at you like I told you. Bert Padell told me to come at cats like this.
That's the third time I've heard his name today. Third time today.
Bert was my man.
Yep.
Hey, look, this is my question. The album cover, what we seen or what's gonna come out is called God's Network. How many gods is on that album?
Several.
Several is more than 2 or 3. Could you name those gods?
Rakim, Planet Asia.
No. Hey, see, look, you doing that Leo Cohen shit now. Look, let me back up. Excluding Rakim, how many gods is on that album outside of Rakim?
Planet Asia, Master Killer, to name 2 off the top of my head. If I had the whole track listing in front of me, several others.
I think it's only
X-rated. X-rated.
X-rated got knowledge though.
X-rated has knowledge. X-rated, who was also someone that I dreamt of working with because he was convicted of life for murder. He was never supposed to get out. He got out. No. You just asked me a question that has to be answered with names. What are you talking about?
But you said X-rated. I have no idea who this brother is. So if I'm the most prominent god body in this industry.
Okay.
X-rated is a god. I'm questioning Master Killer just because his name is Jamel and he ran with Allah Just and RZA. I ain't never built with him. And you could tell him, give him my math and tell him to call Sunborn. I bet you he won't make that call. Come on, God. I'm talking to the gods, but hey, yo, M, you my man, and I'm speaking to you hip hop.
And by the way, even if the album only featured one god, it's his network. God's network.
Okay, so why is it not apostrophe S? It's saying God's plural. We went through that.
Yeah, and I just named at least 3.
If it's his network, means it belongs to him apostrophe S. Let's be grammatically correct. But if it's God's plural, me and you had this, right? If it's God's plural, how many gods is on the album? And I really don't think that the Master Killer is going to satisfy my nation or 5% nation. Master Killer is not going to qualify as a God body prominent. If you would have said Allah Just or Genius, yes. If you would have said
I would have loved to have Genius. I would have loved to have Genius on the record. I did not reach out because listen. In my mind, I didn't see any way that Jizza would be able to turn around the verse to meet my time schedule.
So why didn't RZA or first of all, Jizza is ill, RZA is ill, and why doesn't RZA have any production on the album?
Because it's fully produced by Rakim. Why can't people understand this?
Oh,
Rakim.
The God came into his cipher a little later and didn't hear that Rakim is the producer of this album, exclusively making the beats on his project.
Oh, wait. So Rakim made all the beats himself?
Yes, and did all the cuts.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. My bad.
Yes, that's why,
Now,
to answer your question, that's why this is so significant to the culture in the now. Rakim is reinventing himself. Yes, I'm the God MC. Why can't I be godly in other life pursuits?
Okay, all right. So, I stand corrected. I'm ignorant to the fact.
Hey, but guess what? We're on the Peace Podcast, and that's what we do. We correct these errors.
Proper education always corrects errors. Well, with that, from the perspective of proper education,
I appreciate you, King Son.
Always corrects errors. Like, what have you learned from this experience?
Dreams can come true.
Until M80 get his money.
Here's my answer.
I'm a mess with you, man, but I'm trying to tell y'all like this, God. Y'all asking the man the wrong questions.
No, God, because at the end of the day, God, I know that he's continuing to work with the culture. So again, proper education always corrects errors. So I would like to know, what have you learned, and what do you think that others can benefit from an experience like this? What from your experience?
All right, go ahead, Em.
There is no dream that cannot be accomplished. That's what it is. There's no dream, if you can dream it, that can't be accomplished if you're willing to work for it. I think I'm so prominent in rap culture because I've never once in my lifetime shied away from the work. People always want the rewards without doing anything, and I'm the guy that's willing to do everything and hope that rewards come. Everyone just wants something.
No, that's peace. I'm just asking more so like
that's what this means to me. I will never in my lifetime have a dream as big as this dream.
But I'm asking you culturally, what have you learned? Culturally.
All right, I got two answers. Here's my I'm a funny guy answer. Hip hop is a better place because I'm in it. That's my funny answer. All right. The real answer is that, thank you. The real my cultural answer is I don't view myself as a guest. I think hip hop has grown in the past 50 years to expand to anyone that genuinely has love for it and is willing to build. And I think that falls in line with the principles of the 5% Nation.
I think M80 may have missed the point of what I was trying to get at. By inserting himself in the culture, he has inevitably missed the appropriate ways to do things, especially when it comes to the 5% culture. Although he may have played an intricate part in his project, it would behoove him to have someone of the culture help him navigate the nuances of the culture to avoid such problems from taking place. Being that he is a Jewish man visiting and appreciating hip-hop culture, in addition to appreciating the 5% culture, he has to understand that he is a guest and should not take such liberties as using a universal flag without the proper guidance from citizens of the culture to do so. Taking this protocol will help him do better and be better in his business endeavors, especially when it comes to the cultures of the original man.
I will leave you all with this. And this, you know, you're going to be like, there's no way I believe him. But as my dream coming to fruition, if this record sold one copy and I lost it all, I'd still feel fulfilled. Because the dream is worth more than the dollar. Dollars will come or they won't come. I believe they'll come because I'm working my ass off. And that's why I look so exhausted every day. But money aside, the dream is worth more than its weight in gold.
I'm sure there would be comments in the comments section in reference to culture vultures and colonizations of the culture. I am curious to what you the people have to say. How relevant or helpful do you think the Jewish culture or Jewish management of resources is to hip-hop and black cultures in general? With that, I leave in the same way that I came, which is in peace.
If Mecca did this.